But here is an incredibly hot take about the One Piece adaptation. If they make more seasons of this show and it becomes a regular thing, I think this is the way to watch or view One Piece.
You know, after watching this show, I'm like, wow, this is a show that probably came out in like the mid 2010s.
Wasn't it 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a couple years ago. I guess that's 5 years ago now.
It's been a while, but you would expect it in a more edgy period of time.
Yeah, like 2011.
Way after
the edgy period of
the era
of anime.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life is Daijoubu podcast.
Did you forget what podcast you were doing for half a second there?
If I did, it's because I looked at the sign. And
Oh,
the sign.
well, don't reveal the secrets.
I mean,
and it's
no,
just
it's
back
just-
to back.
no,
I mean,
it's-
nothing.
Look at Chizuru, distraction.
She's hot.
Today we've got a fun show for you guys. We're going to be talking about Angels of Death. Did we like it?
Find
You're gonna
out.
have to find out by
It's a secret
yeah,
to
by
everybody.
listening to the
It's a
the
mystery
podcast.
like the show was. That one
Yeah,
got you.
so we're going to be talking about Angels of Death. We actually watched, there were 16 episodes, so last time when I picked the show, I didn't realize you had to watch the
gamered on
4
us.
OVAs.
Gamed on us.
Yeah, that's
So it's kind of a cliffhanger if you don't, but
You definitely should have watched the last couple episodes,
Yeah.
and we definitely did.
we definitely did.
This is episode 32, by the way.
Yeah, episode 32. I think the audio, we switched, I guess you guys don't know, but we
Yeah.
switched audio recording software. We're now using Adobe Audition instead of
Whatever. Trackathon.
Traction 7.
Hopefully, it sounds either
wait,
the
no.
same or better.
It's Wave, it changed to something else.
I don't freaking remember.
Who cares?
Regardless, hopefully it sounds the same or better.
and
Hopefully
hopefully
for better.
Hopefully the mics don't pick up the wind.
It is a
blowing
little
at our
windy outside,
garage
yeah.
door.
No, we have a studio. We're not filming
Yeah.
in our garage.
This is not a
Yeah,
garage
it's
thing.
Not, yeah, it's
This
not,
is
I'm
a
sorry.
high-class studio.
Sorry,
We
yeah.
pay rent.
Professional. Yeah, we definitely pay
Yeah.
rent. 1,000,000% we pay rent on this studio.
We sell drugs. That
Oh, we don't do that.
He's just talking about the fun anime that we're going to talk about. That's the
Yeah,
main-
it's like
totally.
a drug, man.
And speaking of anime,
We're going to jump right into the news.
speaking of anime,
Let's jump right into the news.
I've got a bunch of segments for news. Did you guys have anything you wanted to bring up before I just start going through my list of stuff?
I think the only thing that I saw, because I know Thane's he wants to talk about something, but Kimi no Todoke is getting a season 3.
From me to you.
Yeah, from me to you. I was under the impression after I had watched season 1 and 2 that it was over. Because it definitely hit that point where you're like, wow, that's a satisfying ending.
So, as someone who plans to read the manga, I know that's not that long. So, how in the world are they doing 3 seasons of an anime? I know season 1 is 24 episodes.
I know, and I thought it was over. Like,
So, like, I know there was a season 2 as well. So, I don't know how they were able to get much content out of this series.
I am going to read the manga. I don't know when. I got a few things I need to read, but now I'm going to go back and read the manga from the very beginning and
Yeah.
just to see. Because like I said, I watched it a couple years ago, but I thought it was over. I was like, well, that's a pretty happy ending.
If you remember a while back, I read that one manga. Oh, freak. What is it called?
The blue
Blue.
Blue Summer or something.
Oh, Blue. How
It's
no
called-
ride.
Yeah, How No
But
Ride.
what is it's just blue.
Blue Spring Ride.
Something. I don't.
I watched
freaking
that
know.
anime a long time ago. It was just another.
High
But
school.
you have to
romance.
read the manga to finish it, though.
Yeah.
So I read that manga, and after reading that one, I was like, wow, that was kind of eh. So I was going to read this one from me to you, but I just never got to it. So that was my next romance manga I'd plan on reading.
This one I feel like is far better. I really, really enjoyed
Yeah.
this one.
The reason I hadn't read that one is because I heard people were sad about that one, so I wanted to read something happy, and so I've been reading more happy things recently.
See, where I ended with the anime, I was pretty happy.
Okay.
So at least
Interesting.
where I stopped, it was happy.
Well, that's cool. What was your thing?
So, well, in gaming news, I saw Final Fantasy 16 is getting 2 DLCs and a PC release.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but this isn't a gaming podcast. This is a anime podcast. So,
Let's
and
talk
manga.
about non-anime.
Yeah. So I'm a Weekly Shonen Jump connoisseur, and Fabricant 100 has ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're replacing with 3 new manga, apparently.
How many chapters did it have?
Like 32.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that one was an interesting manga. There was a couple times I thought for sure it was ending because of the way they built things up, and all of a sudden they didn't end. It's almost like Shueisha was like, actually, no, don't end it yet. Just wait a little bit longer. We got more stuff coming up, but don't do it yet. It's almost like that. Like, because there was literally sometimes I'm like, is he ending it? Like, this looks like an ending. And all of a sudden it wasn't an ending.
Also, do retry. I don't know if that one's going to get axed soon, but it seems like it's building up to
That's the one with the boxer with the giant hand that...
Yeah. That's one of his opponents. Like a giant,
digs holes or something.
His first opponent's giant arm.
Well, why would they make the Charger from Left 4 Dead his first bad guy?
I don't know.
You could have had freaking Zabuza from Naruto, but no, you got the guy that wanks too much.
Yeah.
Don't redo retry. I'm just kidding. If you like it, I'm sorry for ragging on the thing you like. Forgive me.
Do retry had a chance, but then Martial Master Asumi, I think it's called.
I also am not reading that manga.
That I feel is a way better fighting manga because it's actually more grounded in reality, and people like shows like Holy Land and All Rounder Migeru, so I'm pretty sure that one has a chance.
The One Piece live action came out as well.
Oh yeah, One
I thought
Piece.
That's what you were gonna.
I thought that's what he was gonna say too. That's why I kind of referenced this. Let's not talk about anime.
Okay, yeah, he's got a segment on that. So.
Oh, I do?
Oh.
I thought you had this segment. I was going to talk about it if you weren't.
Well, actually, let's talk about after the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Right, before we get into the... Because, spoiler alert, Thane and I both watched it in its entirety?
Yeah,
in its entirety, yeah.
In like 3 days.
Oh, I watched it in two watch sessions.
Yeah. I watched it like over the weekend.
Well,
like,
I guess to be fair, I watched the first 15 minutes with all 3 of you.
Yeah.
Then me and Thane watched the first 2 episodes. And then Thane watched an episode without me, so I said, F him, I'm watching the rest of it by myself.
You guys watched 4 episodes together.
Yeah. We watched 4 episodes together?
Because you watched 2 episodes while I was editing a video, and then...
Oh, so I had 3 sittings in, because I watched 4 episodes in a sitting at one point.
Mm. And there's only 8, right?
There's only 8, yeah. Okay, so here's the news. It's going to be jumping around a little bit. Let's start with this one. This one is actually kind of interesting and it's a bit surprising, honestly, but it makes sense. It's Dead Demons Dated in Destruction is getting an anime in 2 separate films. So it's not going to be an anime series. It's going to be a 2-film anime project.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, oh.
So Inio Asano is getting his very first anime adaptation, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure in the past he's turned down anime adaptations.
Yeah, he's had live action of He's had one live action with Solonine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a Solonine movie, which people said was good.
He's sad boy.
Yeah. Good Night Poon Poon, Solonine.
Good Night Poon
Downfall.
Poon. I'm pretty sure
Solonine's the only one I've read.
Never get made into a anime. Maybe a live action if they do it right, but I'm pretty sure. It's one that's apparently hard to adapt.
It could be what they could do if they did a live action of Goodnight Poon Poon. They could just make like an animated bird character in the live action.
One of those rough sketch looking.
Yeah, I know there's things I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's been things like that before. That could work. Anyway, that's interesting, like I was saying, just because it's Inio Asano. That said, I've not read Dead Demons Dated in Destruction, but I've heard multiple times that if any of his works were to be animated, this would be the one, because it makes the most sense to be animated. It looks cool, though. I mean, it's a lot, from what I understand, it's a lot more of a happier story than any of his other stuff. Yeah. His stuff's depressing. If you want to be depressed, go read his manga. All right, next up, we've got, I'll save this one. We're going to go to this one. This one's called The Magic Artesian Dahlia Wilts No More is getting an anime. It's a light novel that's getting an anime adaptation. I don't know if that's actually the right name. That's what I saw in the news article. I didn't know anything about it. It looked like a thing that exists. Next up is The Apothecary Diaries is getting an anime. I don't know if this was announced prior. I'm assuming it probably was because it's airing in this next season, the fall season. October 21st is when it airs. The interesting reason why I'm bringing this one up is because it's airing with 3 episodes right at the gate. So similar to how other shows have been doing 2 episodes or a really long first episode, this one's just dropping 3 episodes right out the gate. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think it's because this is just my Kobe shot. I think it's probably because episode 1 and 2, one of them's either incredibly boring or you need just that much to get hooked into the story.
Yeah, kind of like Oshinoko.
Oshinoko.
Yeah, like the pilot was like a feature length movie, and the beginning was very slow, but then in the middle, like hooked you in. You're like, whoa.
There's been others that have done this literally this season. I can't remember. It might have been Ryza, but I don't remember if it was Ryza. I think it was.
I remember Nier Automata to finish out their first core. They just dropped the last 4 episodes on one day.
And then Demon Slayer dropped 3 episodes for its finale as well.
Yeah.
That's how they finished up their season. So I feel like it's going to be one thing that we're going to start seeing more often now. I think it's been popularized essentially because of Oshinoko. Granted, that was technically only 1 episode, but I think that's what popularized it and made it more of a feasible thing. The reason I bring it up and think it's concerning potentially is because of all the next news things I'm going to bring up is all of the different delays. I swear every single time we do this show, we're going to be talking about delays. But doing 3 episodes right out the gate, I feel like is just a recipe for disaster unless you have it planned out accordingly and you're definitely prepared for it. Because, I mean, we're seeing shows that don't do this kind of stuff that have production issues and are being delayed.
So with how they air this in Japan, do they have 3 TV slots?
I'm assuming it's got to be what it is.
So they're just boom, 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 back to back to back.
That's what it's got to be in my opinion. I don't know how they would do it differently. I don't know, obviously, but, like, that'll make sense.
Yeah.
So, moving into the delays, the first thing I've got is the first 4, or not the 4, the 4 new episodes that they're making of Naruto were delayed as well. They were supposed to be out in September or starting in September. They don't have a release date anymore. They just said they were delayed. Interesting. I understand because delays, it makes sense. Especially it's better if it's before they're released, which I'm all for. But that brings us to the next thing, which is Zom 100's recurring delays over the past couple of weeks. And it's very sad because Zom 100 is probably the best looking show of the season. I think that's pretty much hands down. I don't think it's even an opinion anymore. I think it's like fact that it just looks that dang good. But it's being delayed over and over again because of multiple different things. I have the releases dates as well. So the past 2 weeks, it was released 1 day late. I don't know if we actually had an episode last week, but 2 weeks ago it was released a day late. Today is Monday, and it was released today. Next week, we are not getting an episode, and the week after that, episode 8 will be on 9/17, so that is the Sunday that it's supposed to air. And the week after that, episode 9, 9/24. So those should be theoretically released on the time. We'll see. I find it really, really weird because, like, the weeks that they released a day late on the streaming services, they were released on their correct slots in Japan. So, like, they were released on Sunday in Japan. We, for some reason, just got them a day late on the streaming services, which I'm not saying is, like, get it done. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, it's just, there's clearly some production issues with this show all around. I've noticed that people are bringing up how one of the studios that they had hired to help them animate it were not listed on the newer episodes in the credits. So maybe that's part of it. I don't actually know about all of the details surrounding it. I just find it very interesting, and it's incredibly sad because this show is a great show. It looks really dang good, and I want the best for it.
Yeah.
So are anime delays just a thing we're going to have all the time now?
Probably, but I feel like there's more logistics behind it because maybe some of the delays are mostly due to scheduling issues and not studio overwork. I don't know, though. They happen so frequent, and I feel like a lot of what we've gotten in the past is just COVID.
Yeah.
They just say COVID, and then they delay it.
But now they're not even bringing up COVID. They're just delaying.
Yeah.
That said, I do know one of the episodes of Zom 100 was delayed because of a scheduling thing. There was something else that took its slot, so it just had to be delayed a week.
And there's also, unfortunately, with all these delays, there's also rumors of a new variant, which hopefully aren't true. But if they are, we could see a lot more delays of other stuff too. But I don't know. That's just rumors right now.
Yeah.
Don't want to get all political.
Yeah, and delays are sad all around, but I don't know. It's tough.
But delays can also happen. There's this project I've been working on that it involves Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball. But when looking at the dates for the episodes, I noticed that they get delayed. But these are like well into like the hundreds of episodes, and that makes sense for like episodes of that show to get delayed because like, oh, it's probably on the network they're on a big Japanese network, so they probably delay them for events or holidays. But like for newer shows, it kind of kills their viewership a bit because people sometimes just don't want to wait.
Well, I wonder how mad the TV.
It also hurts
get.
it also hurts the new studio. I think Bug Films is like, this is like their first major.
It's their first production as a studio, but it's a group of seasoned people.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
They were the people that did Comey essentially.
Yeah.
Comey Can't Communicate.
Yeah, I wonder how many how mad TV execs get because when they delay something, I feel like that just throws a wrench in the schedule.
They just throw in a rerun of something for the most part.
Yeah.
But then people don't watch that. They don't want to watch a rerun, so they just don't watch that channel. And then, like you're saying,
losing money.
They lose money. Obviously, it's an issue. We don't have the answers. We're just dumb people.
We're just dumb gamer brains.
In our studio. So, obviously, we'd like to see things be better, but we definitely want it to be better for the people making these things first. If it is bad for them, we want it to be better for them first. We like our stuff. We like our dumb entertainment, but hey, if we don't have to get our dumb entertainment for a week because other people need a break, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. And there's plenty of anime that I'm trying to catch up. So delays, in a sense, are good for me because I'm trying to catch up with shows. I'm still trying to catch up with Jujutsu Kaisen. Luckily, there's 2 cores. So
that one was delayed almost an entire month, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Is there still delays going on?
No, it finally came back.
Oh, okay.
I guess it wasn't an entire month. It was half a month.
Yeah. Wasn't this last arc short? I can't remember how short it was in the manga, but wasn't this last arc pretty short? And then they're going into this new arc?
Like the flashback?
Yeah, the flashback arc.
I'm still in the flashback.
Okay, they're still... Okay. Because I saw a poster or preview for the next arc coming up. So.
Do you read the manga?
No, I'm just watching the anime.
I like the manga. I think it's really good. I'm kind of sad Cole didn't drop it because, the first few episodes are like, if you don't jive with it, you could lose it. But like these last episodes that I've rewatched, like parts of the manga, they're really good. So it can hook you. If you stick with it, it can hook you pretty good.
I've always thought the animation for Jujutsu Kaisen looks incredible.
Yeah.
It's just the story didn't hook me.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. I mean, like, I'm not completely ruling it out. I started One Piece forever ago, so, like, there's a chance, right? I never thought I'd actually try to start One Piece forever ago like I did, but.
It's a classic shonen. I feel like if you're in the mood for a shonen, that could be one you could jump into.
It's also darker. It's not as dark as Chainsaw Man, but it does get very dark at moments. Like, I guess Chainsaw Man's more sadistic in its ways of dark, and this one's more like serious, super serious.
I see.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of jokies. Yeah, I'm sure there are because it's a shonen, but
like that fast food scene in the manga, like that's
where it's like a dark scene, but it's also
like
kind of
really
funny.
Messed up dark. It's like, oh, what the hell? But in this, you're like, oh man, like for Jujutsu Kaisen, you're like, oh man, that's dark. So,
that's what I had for the news, though. I mean, I don't want to down us anymore by talking about delays. So
let's get on and up, and that is an actually good anime adaptation.
What is this? Good anime adaptation?
What timeline are we living in? But
out of
all shows to get a good one, it's One Piece, and I think that it's great. I think that the adaptation really captured the spirit of the manga, and I think when they have like the main crew, they have simple designs. They have pretty simple designs. Like Luffy's literally just a straw hat and red vest and some jeans. That's it. But then you got people like Mihawk, and he's got that weird facial hair and those like.
It worked.
Eyes.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked somehow.
As goofy as he looks, it still worked in live action.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got away with it, but they did.
Yeah, Mihawk, and also like the actor, he portrayed him as being really cool.
Seeing Zoro with the sword in his mouth, it seems really goofy at first, but it still works in live action. I don't know why it did.
He only does it like
twice or something.
Twice.
Yeah.
But Actually, the best parts was in like I don't know if it was the actor, but like whenever he's like swinging his swords, like it's really well choreographed.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It was obvious he was trying to replicate like scenes from the manga too. Like he
Yeah.
was really trying hard to make it look like a panel from the manga whenever he would do like a
Yeah.
close-up shot of him, where he'd do like the swords, he'd hold it like this or something like that. And he would when he put the one in his mouth, he does like the crazy flips with the sword,
Yeah.
puts it side by side, grabs the other one. It's kind of funny, but it's really goofy, but it's also really good too.
Yeah.
I've got an incredibly hot and spicy take about this adaptation that I've told to these gentlemen over here before. But I'm going to tell it to you kind folks on the internet as well. Hopefully you don't hear that train horn in the background as I'm speaking. But here is an incredibly hot take about the One Piece adaptation. If they make more seasons of this show and it becomes a regular thing, I think this is the way to watch or view One Piece. I think this will surpass the manga and the anime if they continue to do seasons of this show.
So I'm going to say it'll probably surpass the anime since, like, you know, the animations at times is not very good. But I don't think it'll ever surpass the manga. I think there's moments in the manga it just does so much better in the live action. And that's just, like, they couldn't get everything.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's an adaptation.
Yeah.
I personally think the pacing of the live action was far better than the manga. As someone who read this part of the manga, has read up to chapter like 230. I started picking it up, rereading again, by the way. So I'm up to like chapter 230. I think the pacing of the manga is really, really brutal at times, and I don't like that very much. I think the pacing of this live action was super good. I think the changes that they did to the live action were great for characters that didn't get much love at the beginning of the series, and I thought it was just an overall great ride. So if you were ever wanting to get into One Piece, I think this is the way to go personally. Also, that something that skews my opinion towards this is just the fact I never really liked Oda's art style to begin with. Oof. I don't really like the design of Luffy. I think he looks really, really weird, and I don't love it. There are times I'm really into it, but sometimes I really don't like it. And especially like the spoiler images I've seen of like his other like beefy form, I really hate that.
I think they look really cool.
I hate that he just has his dumb face on the top of freaking Hulk Hogan. I don't think it looks good personally.
Like Whitebeard?
No, Luffy's face on Hulk Hogan was like Gear 3 or 4, whatever it is.
Oh, Gear 4? Yeah, I like Gear 4.
I think Gear 4 looks ugly.
I think he looks like a sumo wrestler.
I think Gear 5 looks phenomenal comparatively. I think Gear 4 looks bad. Or Gear 5, it's either Gear 4 or Gear 3. I don't freaking know. I'm not that far in the manga. That said, I think it looks bad. I think it looks so weird how they just popped Goofy Luffy's face on Hulk Hogan's body and said, there we go.
I think that's Gear 3 where he's like...
He's a beefcake. He's a literally beefcake, and he's just got Luffy's dumb face on top. I think it looks bad, in my opinion.
I need to see this now.
But I've also just not liked Luffy's design in the manga personally that much either. I think but like I said, that's just me. That's just my opinion on the art style, and that's also why I liked the live-action adaptation so much more. I think that the actor that they chose for Luffy is probably one of the greatest like choices for a casting I've ever seen of an adaptation. Man, that dude does a good job. He's just constantly smiling, constantly happy, constantly Such a good job. I think Nami could have been slightly better personally. I think her casting was fine. I think the actor did a phenomenal job. Yeah. Oh, no, not that one.
Well, that one's Gear 4.
It's not Gear 3. Gear 3 is like a massive fist.
Maybe it is Gear 4. I think I'm thinking of like the manga picture of him. Yeah, Gear 4 is kind of dumb. That is kind of what I'm thinking, I think. Let me see if I can see the manga version. What's Gear 2 look like?
Gear 2 is just, he's like red. He's very red.
Oh, that looks fine. Does Gear 3 look silly?
Gear 3 is just a giant fist. Sorry for all the spoilers. Yeah. Wow.
I don't think that's spoilers, dude. It's like saying Super Saiyan 7, you know?
Yeah.
He's got blue hair this time.
Hey, you heard about Ultra Instinct and some of these spoilers. Like, everyone's heard about
Ultra Instinct Shaggy. I've also seen Scooby-Doo, too. Sorry I spoiled that.
I like the fight on the moon.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So, that's my hot take on One Piece. I'm very happy with it. I thought it was incredible and a lot of fun. I think anybody that really likes One Piece will probably find enjoyment out of this. I think anybody who's moderately okay with One Piece, like myself, will probably find enjoyment out of this. I think anime elitists will absolutely hate this because it's not animated. That's my take.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that just hate it because they're freaking weebs. I'm calling you guys out, by the way.
Losers. Absolute losers.
Well, I mean, I'm calling them out too. You calling them out with me?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Sure. I just think it's dumb to say that it shouldn't exist just because you don't like it, though. I've seen some of those, but granted, it is Twitter.
Listen, man,
Twitter.
Listen, man, I was skeptical of it, but I watched it, and it was good. I think better adaptations. I heard the Rurouni Kenshin adaptation was amazing.
I was incredibly skeptical as well, by the way,
Yeah.
just because all adaptations I've seen have typically been bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's not been a lot of great live-action adaptations of just about anything. And of all the things, I don't know why One Piece works, but it does. It shouldn't, especially when you see his freaking arm start extending and stuff. I think it's because of the way they filmed it. I think that's partly what does it. Because he does this thing where, like, you see him do, like, the backup, and then it does the camera from way behind, and you see this fist go flying backwards towards that camera. And it's almost like you're watching a 3D movie without the 3D pop-out. Mm-hmm. I think that kind of, like, cinematography really helped with it. If you're trying hard, it's goofy, and he doesn't work. Like, if you're trying to, like, hyper-focus in on that, it doesn't work. But if you're not, you're just enjoying it for what it is, I think you're having a great time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I'll tell you, Moist Critical, he enjoyed it. I watched his video on it. He gave it an 80% on the Moist meter.
I'd give it an 80%.
Yeah. And he says he's in Thriller Bark right now. So it's like, oh, he's pretty far into it.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously it's not the greatest thing that's ever existed.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think One Piece, in my opinion, is the greatest thing that ever existed. That's just my opinion, though. It's just not for me, really. I've realized that shonens are just for me recently.
When shonens work, they really work for me. But when they don't, it's like, this is stupid.
I think the problem that I have with shonens is they have incredible highs and incredible lows.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
just like, if you want to watch a shonen, that's what it is, so strap in.
I would much rather have a medium everything than super duper high highs and really, really low lows.
Well, yeah, because the pacing is all over. Take something like Chainsaw Man. It's not that long, and the pacing's pretty good throughout the
That's why it
entirety
works.
of it.
It's just because it's like a short, condensed thing. It's a shonen in its core, obviously, but because it's like condensed is why it works as well as it does.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen works well because it's like they keep trying to ride the highs. Like there's a few lows, but there's more highs, way more highs, and it's like it just keeps kind of going.
The scaling, like it's going up the mountain.
Yeah,
it's the classic story structure where you get to you're going up the mountain. You shouldn't ever fall down the mountain to get back up it. That's my opinion, though.
Well, usually that's when it ends.
Yeah.
Up the mountain and it's over.
Yeah.
And you gotta climb back down.
That's your Dragon Ball.
And I know about falling down the mountain. I watched the Naruto filler episodes. I watched Mecha Naruto.
I skipped. Did you watch the Chojo episode of Boruto where she eats?
Yeah. Her name's freaking Chocho, not Chojo.
Oh, Chocho. Sorry.
Chocho.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's your name.
This Boruto guy over here.
I think her name's Chocho.
Filler is also part of my secret anime project.
What is this secret anime project? You've never told me about it. You spiced it out a second ago, and it's like, what is Thane talking about?
I'm gonna make a video about it.
Okay.
So it's about a spreadsheet, but I will make a video about it. So I don't want to have too many details.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the details. I get the insider information because I'm a part
afterwards.
of the group.
Afterwards.
Well,
so the thing is, it's this personal.
You don't have to
project.
say it. You don't have to spoil it. You can keep it secret. But to me, I want to know.
Yeah, actually, I will. Like when it comes out, I'll tell about it on this podcast. But I also got 2 other projects that I probably should get one of them out before getting a video on this. So
Pog.
Well, speaking of things that are just not very interesting.
Oh no.
My weekly shows are not hitting.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We're definitely at the lull of the season.
You're just like me for real.
So what show are we talking about, Mr. Skyler?
Wait.
All of them except for like 2 for me.
Literally same, bro.
Which 2? Let me guess. Mushoku Tensei and Salmon.
Oh, we're talking about seasonal anime. Sorry.
Yeah, seasonal anime.
I'm really liking
Just
Rurouni
like with the
Kenshin.
wheel.
I think Dark Gathering, I don't know what he thinks about it, but I think the last episode they had is like, oh man, it's kind of getting hype. Wow, this is getting
that
crazy.
show for me was like this.
Yeah, the few middle episodes were.
I like the part where they started dating. I thought that was cute, but then I was like, well, I don't really like the little girl.
Yeah,
She's creepy.
I think she's the best part of the show.
It's the same stuff, different day.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
what ghost are we gonna get? We're Ghostbusters, getting them.
it's like Scooby Doo. It's got.
There's not real. I guess there's a little bit of mystery, but I liked the idea of them possessing things.
Yeah.
Like people, not little bears. And
Well, that's how she traps them.
I know
She uses them as weapons. That's how she uses them as weapons.
I'm gonna keep going with it because I haven't really seen anything like this.
Yeah, I do like this last episode.
But you will admit that the last couple episodes prior to this one have been pretty lull.
Yeah, but like this last episode was pretty fun, and the ending cliffhanger is like, wow.
To be fair, I haven't seen the episode you're speaking of.
Yeah, that's pretty hype, as Thick would say. I think where they're going is like, oh, it's gonna be interesting.
But even like Undead Murder Farce, like I really liked the first murder mystery of that one, the first little arc they had, and then it just hasn't really been hidden since.
I like the fights in it.
I just remembered
I
something
like
from
all the
last
fictional
season.
characters.
I was like, you hear like these murder mystery things, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one My Home Hero from last season. I didn't finish that one because I dropped it. I was like, oh shoot, I never finished freaking Hell's Paradise from last season either.
Ooh.
And all that just like all of those things, those mindsets just carried over into this season, and I'm only liking the shows that I really like, and it's really weird.
Yeah. I have dropped a few. Also, Helk, it's okay. It could have been better.
I was kind of interested in that one.
Yeah, it's. I think people have said good things of manga, so probably do the manga. But,
how about
the manga's short and there's 2 cores, so it's probably just gonna add to the whole thing. So
how about 7 Spellblades? Have you been watching that still?
That one's fun. It's got that light novel syndrome where it's like it gets bad at times, but
fair.
But it's fun. It's a fun little show. It's like Harry Potter-esque show. But I caught up with Mushoku Tensei, a brilliant show.
Way to get caught up on Peak.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a good
Kino.
show. Guys, this is a good show. If you're not watching this like you say, oh, it's an isekai. Like even for an isekai, it's amazing.
I think it's the
I think it's the cream of the crop
isekai.
isekai, yeah.
Like, and this last episode's like, wow, that's a cool concept.
Do you want to know why this isekai works so well as an isekai? Because the repercussions of his previous life actually carry over.
Yeah, I've seen so many isekai where he's like reincarnated. It's like,
He's
wow,
like, well,
I'm a god.
Yeah.
I could do anything.
All my problems
and
in
I'm
the previous world are
overpowered.
nothing.
Yeah, but this, he's not only is he not overpowered, he's
Well,
in fact immortal.
he does get effing strong. And
Yeah.
you saw it in the last
Yeah.
episode with the Bodygotti, the 6-armed dude.
Yeah, but he's really smart. But there's times where like he's not that strong, and
I think he's mentally weak, and I think that's what does it to him.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's mentally weak at times. Yeah, he's has an aptitude for magic, and that's kind of like the overpowered. But like, he's got a lot of flaws. But that's what makes him interesting.
Yeah, what's fun about that is his flaws don't come from his current life.
Yeah,
they come from his previous life,
Yeah.
which, like Cole already mentioned, in most isekais, it's like, well, I died, forget my old self. Whereas this one, it's bringing who you were to where you are to who you are now, and you're still having to overcome that.
Yeah.
I think the other part that really does it for me is that all of that applies, but he's still a new person. He's still not that person that he was in his previous life. He's the new person. And minor spoiler, you never get to even find out what his name was in the previous life. Like, it goes that far where like it's trying to distance that character, that person he was, to this new person. And it's just so cool because it's a new person with these new experiences and basically really restarting over. But the things carry over. I don't know. It's so good, dude.
It's what I think it is too, though, is if you think about your own life, it's sad to say, but a lot of the traumatic experiences you have stick with you. Even if you kind of forget what they are, for example, like, oh, I got dumped by a girl, or I tried to ask somebody out and I got shut down, that goes with you.
Subconsciously. Yeah.
Even if you don't even remember that chick's name, that feeling you got of, wow, what's wrong with me? I'm a piece of crap, travels with you. So it's Rudy is trying to still get over his 30 or 40 years of past traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
In a new life, which is fun because a lot of those are still applicable to what he's dealing with.
And I also like that he was just an absolute trash of a human before as well. And because he was an absolute trash of a human, it's him also, it's almost like a redemption arc. The whole story is like a redemption arc of him becoming a not trash human being. That's just one of the great shows. We talked about Zom 100 a little bit earlier, too. And Zom 100 is freaking phenomenal. Literally one of the best looking anime I've ever seen in my entire life. It looks so dang good. Like, it's just impressive the way they're able to do the cinematography from the show using animation as a medium to propel their story even farther than what the manga could do. The manga's great, too. I think the art style and everything in that is good. But, man, they really upped it up with a whole level with the anime. As for my dumpy shows, like, the rest of them, literally, I mean, like, I'm still watching them. I'm a little bit behind on Spy Classroom. I think I'm 3 episodes behind at this point. I mean, I still plan on getting back to that. I was just going to binge that series near the end of the season. That was my plan with that show. The other shows like Rurouni Kenshin, I'm still watching that. I'm about an episode behind right now. Vending Machine, I'm still watching that. That one is slowly getting less interesting because it ends up being he solves the problem the same way by turning into a new vending machine that's got the power that he needs. Liar, Liar, I know I said good things about it early on. At this point, the only thing I feel like it's got going for it is cute anime girls, a phenomenal intro song, and a pretty dang good ending as well song. Really cute anime girls, I won't lie. Some peak anime character designs there.
Rent-A-Girlfriend's still hitting, by the way. I forgot.
Rent-A-Girlfriend's still good. I mean, we literally just had the chapter that like sets up for the ending of the season.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, the episode that sets up for the end of the season. If you ever wanted to see why Rent-A-Girlfriend is good, this is the season to do it. You could probably just jump in at the start of the season and be okay. I think you should watch seasons 1, 2, and 3, and then just never anything else. If you want a good romance anime, pretend that everything else after doesn't exist and you're fine. Personally, I still enjoy the stuff after it. That's why I still read it as it comes out, but it's nowhere near as good as it once was, which is what the anime is showing right now.
Kind of a slow, stretched out burn from here on out after this season will be over.
Man, I just hate when like people like said, all right, this is a good, like your audience like this is a good stopping point, but the manga writer's like, no, it's not, or the company's like, no, it's not.
Money,
and like I still have in the back of my mind that Reggie, the author of Rent-A-Girlfriend, does have big plans for what he wants to do with it. I can kind of get the vibe from reading the chapters. I just almost feel like he's playing into the meme sometimes too. I think he's a bit of a memer based on things I've seen on Twitter and stuff like that. Like I think he likes playing with the people that are reading his stories.
Well, I'm still in the camp too of this is definitely a binge.
Oh
manga,
yeah.
Where we get the weekly burn, and I've been reading it for 3 or 4 years weekly. Where it's just like, come on. But if you could binge it, you'd be able to not only retain all the information because you're reading bam, 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 but you could also see a lot of the character progression that we may not notice as much unless we go to Reddit and learn from the Redditors.
Mark my words. I think that Rent-A-Girlfriend will be one of the best romantic comedies to binge when it's finally done. I think it'll top most of them. Things like Nisekoi, We Never Learn, freaking even going back to like Love Hina. I think Rent-A-Girlfriend tops those. I really like Nisekoi, for example. Love Hina's got some fun moments in it too. I really like We Never Learn. But man, Rent-A-Girlfriend definitely tops them if you're binging them, I think. The highs are much higher than they were in the other ones.
It is very realistic. Like, there's probably some moments throughout Rent-A-Girlfriend where you're like, okay.
It's very over-dramatized, but the stuff that they're overly dramatizing are incredibly realistic to what you might actually think in situations that they're put in.
Yeah, so that one still slaps, but I mean, all my other shows are very
Oh,
Yeah.
before we get into the show, I know we're running really long in this part of the episode. We'll get to the show in a second. I got one more thing I wanted to talk about, and I showed these guys as well. It's freaking the new Pokemon anime is effing good, and I don't know why people aren't talking about it, because like the last episode I showed these guys was literally one of the best things I've seen in anime. It looks so incredibly well done. The story is really, really cool. It's incredibly cinematic. It's peak. It's really dang good.
I was gonna watch it like when it started, but I was like, nah, I got other shows.
How many episodes are
but
we in?
I think we're in episode 20.
I might just start binging.
It's like
again.
17, 18, 20, something like that. We're not 24 because it'll be 24 at the end of this season.
Are they
'cause
doing
Well-
cores or just a weekly?
It's just weekly. But, like, I mean, it started with the last season, so we're past 12 episodes. At the end of this season, it'll be 24 episodes. So it's not super far in. But
Well,
might
I
start
would,
binging it.
but I'm gonna try to watch Bleach again. I know some people say, "Oh, it gets pretty bad," like in the middle, but like, I've seen clips of like Thousand Year Blood War. I've seen people talk about like some of the villains. Like, damn, I kind of want to watch that. I could read the manga, but I think I'm gonna try to just like read the manga, and if I get caught up with the manga, I'll probably start Blood War at that moment. But yeah, I just kind of watch the anime again because it is a bit nostalgic for me. So yeah, and I assume they're gonna do like another break and then take 2 seasons off and then go back to
and finish it out.
finish it. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to watch Bleach again.
So here's my pitch for you watching the Pokemon Journeys. Or, excuse me, it's called Pokemon Horizons? Oh, freak. I don't know. It's not Journeys. Journeys was the previous one. This one, I think, is called Pokemon Horizons. Here's my pitch for watching it. If you like shonen, but you like the modernized shonen with some new twists and stuff like that, things like Chainsaw Man, that kind of stuff. If you like the pacing, I guess, of modern shonen, and you also like Pokemon, you need to be watching the show. Like, there's really no reason for you not to watch this show, because
It's a good sell.
I think it's going to be good. I have not had an episode. I mean, maybe there's like 1 or 2 episodes that are kind of just like, but they progress the plot. There really hasn't been episodes that really feel like filler. There's some reason why that episode exists. And like, there's just some really cool scenes. And like, dang, dude, they're putting this in the Pokemon world. It's cool. Especially if you like Pokemon, I think it's a win for you. That's my sell.
You think they're
or
gonna
pitch.
try to do more seasons where like after every generation of Pokemon, they're just gonna change main characters?
Well, so it's not even based on Scarlet and Violet.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's basically its own adventure story.
Yeah.
So I imagine if they keep up with this main character and plot line, the next Pokemon games, wherever that new world is, they're gonna go there for a couple episodes and then go
Yeah.
back to the full world of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because like the last let's say 6 episodes that I've watched was set in the Paldea region, which is Scarlet and Violet, the new games. But like before that, they were in Kanto. Right now they're heading towards the Galar region, which was Sword and Shield. So like they're gonna go all over the world, which was my favorite part about the previous series with Ash and Go and Pokemon Journeys, was that they did go everywhere in the whole world. I really love like merging the entire Pokemon world into one giant thing, and it's not just its own separate pieces. I like how they have been merging it. This one takes that to a whole nother level.
How do you like the main characters so far?
Liko's really fun. She's a good main character, million times better than Ash ever was.
Dang.
Ash is not a good
Yeah.
character. He's really fun to watch his journey,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have any character growth really. I mean, he's got moments.
He's always forever 10 years
I
old.
would say specifically the X and Y series, he's got good moments of character growth and development. But like other than that, like, what's he do? He battles. That's all he does. Like Liko's funny. She's got good character points. Her partner friend Go. No, not Go. It's Roy. Roy, he's pretty cool too. He's got funny moments, like it's good stuff. Their helper people, like Freed, the professor they're traveling with, he's dope AF, dude. He's just freaking your classic Gen 1er. He's got his Pikachu and his Charizard and he's running around the world doing Pikachu and Charizard stuff. He's jumping off buildings, Charizard's catching him and they're killing everybody. It's cool. It's cool stuff.
Killing people?
Okay, they're not killing anybody, but like
Pretty
just
dark
sleeping.
for Pokemon.
they're Pokemon killing. Yeah, they're fainting.
As the rival character showed up.
There's no rival character.
I
It's
mean,
like
Nimona,
it's
like
Oh, yeah, Nimona
yeah.
showed up. They
Yeah.
showed Nimona for like a couple episodes, but she was just there. Oh, that's the other point. They got freaking Naruto's Akatsuki, but in Pokemon form. I forgot to mention that. They literally even have like meetings where they're like in hologram form like the Akatsuki did too.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is just the Akatsuki. It's good. I'm not lying. I'm not gapping. It's good. Watch Pokemon.
Cool.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
We can continue to some peak anime.
I mean, that's the end of my shows. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you wanted to mention, Thane?
Not that like I guess not that I mentioned Hulk was okay. The one I'm trying to get caught up on Onogatari, that's okay. It's not horrible to watch, but it's okay. But all my other shows I'm enjoying. Yeah. Yeah, let's get on to the
Some peak anime?
Yeah,
Peak anime.
Peak anime.
So
So
I saw in a Steam review, it said peak fiction right here. It's like, yeah, yeah,
this is an anime of all time.
yeah.
Prepare for spoilers and honestly
cringe.
some trigger warnings if you're
Yeah.
if you're sensitive to self-harm and
Suicide.
blood and murder and stuff in general.
Psychopathic tendencies.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. If you're sensitive to that stuff, then don't bother.
Yeah. So this is Angels of Death. Just a quick preface in case you didn't watch the last episode. Cole and I went to Barnes & Noble and I did a blind manga buy. I bought volume 1 and I was like, okay, this story seems like it's kind of interesting and it could go somewhere. I'd have to go look and see where, I don't know why I didn't even bring it out here. I'd have to go look and see where the first volume ends, but it wasn't too far into the story. Like the doctor shows up and I think they kind of were in a pickle with him and that was it. But
Yay, pickle.
where this starts is a random girl she wakes up in a chair in some building. She has no idea where she is, starts walking around, starts getting chased by a crazy dude with the scythe, and he's all bandaged up. His name is Zach. The girl's name is Rachel.
I will say scythes are effing cool.
Yeah,
probably
scythes-
my favorite weapon in all of fiction.
You should read or watch Soul Eater.
Oh, they have scythes in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
the main
cool.
character has a scythe.
Okay, that's why I liked Ruby so much back in the day.
Yeah.
Your scythe's sick. It's a
I don't know
sniper.
if Bleach characters have any scythes, but I know Hidan from Naruto has
Yeah,
a scythe.
Yeah.
Hidan was hype.
He's
Yeah.
cool.
I also like how he died. It's good stuff. Shikamaru's
Yeah.
a goat.
Oh, ripped to
Yeah, that's
other
what you
things that happened.
Get for killing what's his name?
No, don't spoil it.
No.
I spoiled a little bit. Sorry,
Yeah.
but it's Naruto. I could spoil Naruto. That's
Yeah,
allowed.
nobody cares, right? Anyway,
Sorry. If you
pretty
were-
much this show is Rachel and Zach go to different floors on this building, meeting a new bad villain. You got the
Yeah.
doctor, then you got Shovel Boy, and then you've got the psychotic crazy lady who makes them do escape room
Death
stuff.
Games.
Yeah, it's
Death Games. The anime.
except
Yeah.
not good.
Not very good. No, not good.
Wait, I thought this was Peaks, guy.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great.
And again, this is a video game adaptation, so if I don't know if Sky knew that, but I remember seeing that anime preview. It's like they're making a anime out of a freaking RPG Maker horror game. Cringe.
Cringe.
I never
So-
watched it.
What I think we should start with, just because I want to end on a little bit of a high with this one, is let's just talk about why this show is bad and does not work.
The two main characters I could never get into them.
I think for me, with the main characters specifically, they talk about dying and killing so much.
Yeah.
It's a very unrelatable characteristic with most human beings, if not
well,
all the normal ones.
the Zach character, he's
Don't
a
say it
serial
like
killer.
that.
Okay.
He's a serial killer, so of course he's gonna talk about death and killing. And Rachel, she's like suicidal, so she wants to die, but she wants Zach to kill her. But like he has a stipulations like, oh, you gotta smile for me. It's like, you're a freaking creep, man. I know you're a serial killer, but I don't like you. I don't get the sympathy that some 13-year-old girl has. Like, oh, he's so hot with all those bandages. It's like,
I love how edgy he is.
Yeah, I love how
His
edgy
scythe
he
is so
is.
edgy.
then again, this is probably from the website that idolizes serial killers. So
On the side, aside from the characters being just bad in general, I actually am surprised I don't have anything about the characters and why they're bad. I thought I did, but I guess I don't. But aside from the characters just being bad in general and they're not relatable or anything like that, in my opinion, as well, is that being a puzzle game, death game kind of show, those shows work really well, in my opinion. I love those kind of shows so much because of the suspense and all that keeps you wanting to watch every single episode. But when the characters are, like, wanting to die, it doesn't work. If the whole shtick of the episode or the show is the main character wants to die, putting them in a death game literally has no weight. It would be like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like putting the most suicidal person in the world into Hunger Games and be like, have fun. And they just go, okay, they just go right for it.
Like, she wants to
just
die.
Over. They hurry and sprint right
and that's
to
your
the,
main character.
Yeah, they sprint to the cornucopia,
the
grab
thing,
the first knife they see.
She has a weird stipulation where it's like, oh, I want to die, but only by Zach's hand. And then put in death games, it's like, just die that way.
I can't die in this death game because this guy that I'm idolizing, I need him to be the one to kill me instead.
Do you guys think
do you see how stupid that sounds?
Do you think it was silly how quickly she got attached to Zach?
Yes.
She's like, this dude just chased you, tried to kill you, and you went from wanting to live to wanting to die in the same episode.
There's no reason that she should have been attached to Zach. All he did was save her from the doctor, which is ironic because after being saved, after her life was saved, she decided she wanted to die anyway.
Which made no sense to me because I was like, you just ran from Zach. He saved you and still wants to kill you, but he wants you to want to die. He wants that sick thrill of seeing somebody not wanting to die. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I want to say something about the dub because when we pick shows, when there's a dub, I just like to throw it on, maybe do something in the background.
I also watch the dub.
Especially when it's a show this bad. I can just have something on the side and just groan and cringe while I'm working on my secret project. But
it's just like 4th time you mentioned it. Yeah, I gotta know.
I know. I'll tell you afterwards. I know, audience, you're anxious, but I'm going to probably get it done soon, and I'll tell you. But anyways, like the dub, like not only are they quiet every time I hear it compared to the sub, but like the girl who voices Rachel, she's always like, oh, look at that. There's something over there. And she's so quiet. It's like, please turn the gain up on her mic when she's whispering. Yeah. And also,
I will argue the counter argument. I think that the voice actors were actually good. I think the voice actors were probably one of the better parts of the show.
Zach, I don't like how he's always like, he screams all the time like this, and it's like,
that's just the directing. I think the actors did a good job with what they were told to do.
And then I looked it up. It's like, it's that same fucker who does Asta. And Asta's very annoying.
Asta from what?
Black Clover.
Oh, I've never seen that
In the
one.
beginning, he's annoying, but like he screams all the time. It's like, oh, it makes sense.
I will say, Thane, I agree with you on her mic not being turned up, but when I watched a few episodes with Cole in the front room, it sounded fine. So
it might have been my
I guess
computer.
Being able to turn up the TV a little bit louder.
Yeah, I had the TV pretty loud. I won't lie.
I had my speakers up pretty loud whenever
I turned it up as loud as I could.
To a YouTube video, it's like, oh my god. It's like the fact that I have to turn up my computer. It's like, just get better audio mixing, Funimation.
I listened to the sub too. I watched like almost the entirety of that first season dubbed, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I switched to the sub, and I was like, oh wow,
yeah,
her voice, the audio fine.
Yeah, her voice every time. She whispers kind of like in a loud voice like this.
Well, you can whisper, but just you could still turn it up. A little bit.
Turn your gain up on the mic. Like she whispered too quiet and didn't pick it up in the mic right.
So my next question for you guys is, what was the most disappointing part of the show for you?
Oh,
like I'll give you mine.
I didn't have many expectations going in, so
I didn't really either. But there was a part that I really love when it comes to death games, and I'm going to compare this to Maze Runner.
I guess. Wait, I'll say this. I guess I'm disappointed they didn't both die in the end. So I didn't like them.
Oh wait, you don't think they did?
I don't know. That like they're ambiguous. I wanted to see them die on screen.
I interpreted it as they both died then and there.
That's exactly.
I interpreted it as he killed her while they were falling, and he fell to his death. That's what I interpreted it
That's
as.
hilarious if that's true.
Yeah, it's funny. Really funny. Yeah, I'm going to compare this to Maze Runner because I feel like Maze Runner does this far better. One of my favorite parts about death games, especially one like this, where they literally, you're thrown into it and you don't know what's going on. So it's like being zoomed really tight in on a photo, and then they slowly pan out and they reveal the world to you. I think the place where they are could have been way more interesting, but we didn't really get, like, we got a little bit of why they were there, but what it was, you know what I mean?
It ended up just being a building.
Yeah, it was really lame. It was like, wow, this is incredibly stupid. I hated this. Whereas you take something like Maze Runner, where the world is really interesting and they know it and they elaborate on it. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to keep reading / watching the show when I had first discovered it, because I'm like, oh, where are they? Who's in control? Who's doing this then? I want to know.
It'd be like watching Squid Game and you don't know how they got there in the first place, so you want to know why they're there, and then you find out, oh, it's just some room.
Yeah, it's just a building, and these two suck as humans.
And the reason why they're there is just cuz.
Yeah. That to me was incredibly disappointing. And that's, like, in my notes I wrote, I kept watching because I wanted to see what was going on with the world and where they are, and the reason was really dumb.
So, also about the ending, like, yeah, that was a funny theory you had, but also the theory.
Theory, that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's interpretation. Well,
I guess the same thing.
Yeah, but my interpretation was like, oh, he said, oh, he's going to be executed. I'm thinking he was executed, and she was just having the illusion where she came to save him, and then she killed herself. Or something.
My counter to that is just that the fact that when they show the glass is broken inwards instead of outwards.
Oh, that's true.
And so I think something had to have broken it from the outside. There's no way she could have done it from the inside.
That's true. And it's also funny how he like comes back in the same clothes, bloody clothes that he had. You think he would be in like a prison jumper or something, but
and then the other shot when they're jumping out of the window, if you look at his like leg, it's torn up from the glass he was kneeling on. So like they definitely tried to put some detail into that to like show, but granted, from what I understand, this ending is very debated amongst the people that like this show. So it's supposed to be interpreted in different ways from different people. Anyway, the thing that I was most disappointed with, I've got two. The other one's just kind of something I barely thought of, but the other one is the actual thing. I'll start with that one. It's that in a game about, or excuse me, not a game, in a show, I guess technically a game, huh?
Yeah.
In a show about death and the consequences of death, there were 0 consequences for death, because the amount of times every single one of the characters died, they didn't die. How many times did Dr. Guy die? 3 times that I can think of off the top of my head. But he was fine in the end. Well, until the end. But how many times did Zach...
He just wanted to stay dead.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't stay dead. How many times did Zach die? He was like electrocuted. He was shot multiple times. He stabbed his own stomach out. He got shot some more, but he was still fine in the end.
Just freaking made of metal, dude.
They have more lives than shonen protagonists.
Literally.
The man's a cat.
Even Rachel at the end, she got shot twice and bled out, and then still was alive in the end.
Zach even said, he's like, nobody bleeds this much and lives.
And I was like, bro, you were that guy who bled that much and lived. So that's probably my biggest disappointment. As someone who really enjoys death game kind of stories, the weight of death was not there. It was non-existent. Okay, so for my other one that I just barely thought of was, this is going back to the characters being bad. I think they missed the mark in making the characters good by not giving them any growth in the end. They still were the same people from the beginning to the end. When in the end, they could have been like, they've gotten over a lot of their trauma and escaped together and ran away together. I don't want them to be lovers, by the way. That's not my thing. I know a lot of people in the comment section that I was reading were into that. I'm not into that.
She's like 13.
I was hoping like a familial bond, and they were going to be like brothers and sisters or something, and then they run away and get away and escape the cops, and they're still psycho because that's the whole point, but they're happy psychos.
I hope that he kills her and then he gets found by the cops and shot to death. That's my ideal ending. Yeah? Yeah.
I mean, that could have been what happened. I mean, that was basically how I interpret it, other than like falling.
What confuses me is about the priest. I don't know what his goal was.
So from what I understand, he was
trying to help these people, but then he lets
No. I don't think he was trying to help them. I think he was trying to understand what humans are. Yeah. He was trying to like get a definition, like a personal definition as to what human beings actually could be the potential of what they are, why they do what they do kind of stuff. And his answer was the same as it's always been, and that's why he was sad and depressed at the end.
But he only brought in serial killers.
I mean, he had to have brought in other people, right? Like, actual, like, legit people to go through these floors. There's no way you make this, like...
He's the one who made this floor thing, right?
Yeah. He's the one that made it. So there's no way you don't bring in people to have them go through this.
It's so convoluted.
Yeah, I think you have to bring in, like, people to go through these floors to see if they can make it out. And by the time they get out, you see what kind of a person they become, and that's his whole shtick, if I had to guess.
They don't really elaborate.
If they live, if they make it through,
If they elaborate on past victims, like I've studied many victims.
In all reality, that's the show I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see the people trying to make their way through these floors that aren't psychotic and crazy, that have to make their way through the floors, and if they live and if their mentality changes because of the scenarios they're going through. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Make that show, not
this.
this.
Like several people. They have like, instead of just 2 people, they have like several people. And then like, she's the super smart one, but she's quiet, but she knows what to do. And then, like, she's kind of keeping people alive. But, of course, few people die. But, like, it's like, yeah, if you just focus on 2 characters and you have a death game and you don't have death, the show just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Well, and I wanted to quickly...
And I know it's based off of video games, so, like, it was just, it's easier if you just have 2 playable characters throughout. But, like... If they adapt the show and made a bunch of original characters, I don't know.
I wanted to quickly elaborate, too, on the other part that I thought was really dumb, was just the whole, like, intimate love story moments they tried to put in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're playing sad music, but then you hear the phrase, I will kill you.
Yeah. Like at the
it's
last
like
one,
you want
to bone or die.
It's like Twilight if Edward actually wanted to kill Bella.
Yeah.
And Bella was really into it.
It was like, for me, it was very two-tonal. It's just like you're showing these cute. They're not. I don't even say that. They're not even
it's
cute.
Like an anti-tone. They show you this thing that they want you to like perceive, but the words they're saying do not match what they want you to perceive.
You want me to feel romance, but you're talking about murder. And in my head, I was like, are they trying to do like make murder the metaphor for love or something, or like
I'm gonna kill you so bad.
Literally.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna give you that good kill.
This is really, really dumb. But I guess my last few thoughts, I thought the opening was fun. I liked the opening.
Dude, the ending slapped. I really liked the ending song.
Yeah,
I didn't think the opening was okay, I think personally, but the ending was a highlight for me.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I thought was really funny was Zach has some banger lines throughout the show.
Yeah.
He just says some funny stuff where I'm like, that was good. I wish I would have wrote some of them down, but the other scene I thought was really funny, and I pointed out to Cole while we were watching it. It's at the very end where he's holding Rachel, and he's like, tell me to break the rock. I'm going to break the rock, Rachel.
And she just goes, break the rock,
yeah,
Zach.
she's like, break the rock. So he drops her.
Okay.
And then he freaking slashes the rock.
He was so into breaking that rock after she told him.
And then the one scene where the scythe breaks and it's in the ground and Rachel walks up and she's like, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What the hell are we watching?
So I'm going to give you my thing that I actually liked about the show. And it was the whole reveal that Rachel was another one of the Angels of Death. If you were really trying to pay attention and really like dive deep in this, I think you could have seen it coming from a mile away. But I really like that that's what they actually did with it. That was one of the plot points. I was like, okay, I'm on board with this. This is cool. This is unique. This is interesting. It makes Zach's character like see what Rachel actually was and make that kind of interesting. Granted, I will say that like it didn't really do anything for that.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just like, whatever, I don't really care.
Well, and they kind of build that up too, because Rachel's like, no, don't tell Zach
find
my
out.
past. And I wrote down in my notes before I saw the scene of where Zach's like, I don't give an F. I wrote, why would Zach care? He's a serial killer too.
Yeah,
And
totally.
then they build this up for like an episode, and then they have a cliffhanger, and then Zach's like, I don't give a
whatever. Like,
I kill people
bro, I'm
too.
chill with it.
He's like, that's my ideal girlfriend. I'll kill you later.
Yeah, but honestly, that was the part I liked. I liked how they did try to build it up and make it a thing. And if it, like I said, if it was a show where we're overheating, by the way, so we're gonna have to wrap it up here soon.
I was speeding.
Good point. if this was a show about people actually trying to escape and become like not become better or normal or whatever you want to call it, but people just trying to escape this
That's
try
literally
thing.
just Saw.
Yeah. If it was like that, but then you do find out one of the people you're escaping with is a bad person, and then they actually have to deal with that
He's
repercussion,
one of the game masters.
then it would have worked. Then it would have worked really, really well, but I don't know.
There would have been a twist at the end where Rachel's like, actually, I'm also a serial killer, and just cap Zach. It's like, whoa, what a twist.
My final thought, and this I'm just going to read this word for word as I wrote in my notes. I say, this is early on. This is the first note I took. It says, I knew I was watching a good show when the crazy dude started crushing tombstones and they put rock music and a blood splatter overlay on the top. They literally just like put a PNG of a blood splatter and some rock music and he's just going to town on these tombstones. I'm just like, what the F am I actually watching?
Yeah, this show, this is like a generous 6.
I give it a 4.
I gave it a 4 too.
Let's go.
Actually,
Actually give a number, dude. Let's go.
I one-starred it on the website I watched.
The website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 to justify me purchasing the first volume.
Let's go. I like it.
You don't have to give pity points for purchasing.
You're right. This is like I said, it's a generous 6, probably more realistic.
In fact, maybe I'll knock it down to a 3 just to be even crueler.
Well, before we wrap up, Cole is picking the next show.
That's right. I've got the show for the next time we're going to watch. We're going to do one more watch along, and then
Please
after
be
that,
something good.
After the watch along episode, so in 2 weeks, the watch along episode. The 2 weeks after that will be the seasonal review. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
But anyway, for these next 2 weeks, we are going to be watching Uncle from Another World.
Let's go.
I thought to myself, with all these delays, there was a show that really deserves some attention because of the delays it got, and a lot of people kind of dropped it as a result. And so I decided Uncle from Another World's our next pick. I freaking love the show. I think it's a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to really like it. Also, I only pick isekai apparently, so I feel like I better pick another isekai. I don't only do isekai, but that's a lot of what I picked. Granted, you picked 2 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've wanted to pick one, but it's not on any streaming services.
Uncle from Another World's a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to really like it. It's really just a blast the whole time. It's hilarious. And I also wanted to pick something funny and happy because the last couple shows we've been watching have been a little bit depressing, a little bit sad, a little bit too serious at times. But anyway, yeah. So that's what we're going to be watching for the next 2 weeks. Once again, so 2 weeks from now, the watch along Uncle from Another World, and 2 weeks after that will be the seasonal review. The 2 weeks after that will be the fall season preview, and then back to normal watch along episodes.
Yep. And with that, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you've seen Angels of Death, let us know your thoughts on it.
Sorry for roasting it if you really like that show. We just could not.
I think we know one friend who she liked it, but I don't know. I'd have to ask.
According to her boyfriend, yes, she did.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Have a great life.
Bye.